Boss, thank you for joining us. And a look ahead to the weekend now, we're facing Stevenage away from home, and it would be really good to pick up a result.
Of course. We are happy, or happier, with the way that we've played in, I would say, the last 2.5 games, if I'm brutally honest. We had a difficult first half when we played Northampton at home, but I think since then we've put in some good performances, which is something that we've been searching for, craving for, working hard to try to achieve in recent games. So I'm pleased on that front. Obviously disappointed on Tuesday night not to come out of the game with more points than I felt we deserved. But there was certainly a number of positives to take out of that. So now we have to go into this next game and make it 3.5 positive performances, because the thing we've all been discussing has been about trying to build consistency, and consistency isn't 2.5 games. Consistency is longer term, bigger plans, and then making sure that you get the results off the back of those performances.
One of the things we spoke about following the Crewe game was how we used the disappointment of that result as motivation and take it forward into this game. In training, what's the vibe been like? Are the lads focused to really nail in this Saturday?
Yeah, we've spent a couple of days analysing what's gone on, because we've had such a huge amount of football in such a short period of time. So we've used the last couple of days to analyse what that looks like and what's been good and what needs to improve. And I think what's come out of that is that good vibe, that good feel about some of the way that we've gone out and implemented what we talk about in training. So the feeling, the vibe is positive. I think I said it after the game to you that it was disappointment on Tuesday at the result, and the fact that we didn't get what we felt we deserved, but at the same time we still didn't get the result. So by no means do we sit here saying we're content by performing well but not winning or getting points out of a game of football. We know that that's ultimately the main aim. So I feel there's a focus about the group. I think there's a understanding of what has been of a required standard in the last few games, and what we need to do to improve to make sure that we see games through and win more games of football.
And of course, Crewe are an opponent who are in a playoff position. They're really going for promotion this year. Stevenage sit below us in the table. We're 9 points adrift of that bottom space. It feels as if we can really get some points here. We can really kick forward.
We've got to have that attitude towards everything that we do. So I've said in recent weeks, all the games of football coming up, the next one's our priority. Saturday becomes our biggest game of the season because it's our next game of the season. Whether we were playing Stevenage or Swindon is irrelevant to a degree, because it's our next game and we put all our focuses into going and winning that game of football. So I feel there's a belief in the group now all of a sudden that we're heading in a direction with the way that we're going about our games, and we will be embracing the challenge at the weekend, whoever we were playing, but we'll be embracing the challenge of Stevenage, who have obviously added to their group in recent weeks, but we'll be going out there with a belief in ourselves to go and get 3 points.
We're at that stage of the season where most teams we face now, we've already played at an early stage in the season, so we have an idea of what Stevenage are about. It was a 0-0 draw when we faced them on our home turf. What are you expecting when we go there and we face them? Well,
it'd be a different one to the one that we faced earlier in the season. It was a game where we outright deserved to win it. We created numerous amounts of opportunities and chances on the day, and didn't deserve to come out during the game 0-0. But it's a different team, it's a different manager, there's different personnel, even in the short, in the January transfer window. It's a different team to the one that we played back then. So we understand as staff and players what's going to be coming our way, and the challenge that Stevenage will throw at us. Like I say, it's very different to what we've experienced before, which will be the case this season in the return games that we play. But it's about acknowledging what Stevenage are. It's about understanding what Stevenage are about. But ultimately, it's about Leyton Orient. It's about us going out there and imposing ourselves and continuing to impose ourselves on games of football and show and build on that belief to go out and deliver the performance and the results that we want.
You touched on additions that Stevenage have made, and then you've gone on to say it's about Leyton Orient. So looking at in our own camp, Danny Johnson, he signed just Monday night it was, so he travelled to Crewe. International clearance kept him from featuring. Is it likely we could see him this weekend?
It'd be very close to the group. He's trained. We've been delighted with the signing of Danny first and foremost. We felt it was very important to take him with us to Crewe and obviously in the knowledge that he wasn't going to be eligible to play, but we felt it would integrate him into the group straight away and throw him amongst the boys for a number of hours on the journey up, and then obviously he's trained in the following day since. So we're pleased to have him, delighted to have him, and the sooner we can see him make an impact on the group, the better.